How's it going, guys? Welcome to the FM Dugout. We're back with the British Steel Challenge today, and episode 13 sees us with a change of club. Now, the more astute of you might have spotted from the thumbnail that it was Wraith Rovers in the background picture, but that's who we are in charge of, Wraith Rovers in the Ladbrokes Championship. So sorry for anyone who thought I was going to try it out with Stirling this year. Sorry for anyone who thought if I was going to move on I would go to another country. I suppose the OCD kind of aspect of me wants to get the whole Scottish League system won before I look to move on. Probably won't happen because I can't see me getting either the Rangers or the Celtic job, which is I think the only way the Premier League is going to be realistically won in a short time frame. Anyway, that's kind of getting way ahead of myself. We are at Wraith Rovers, and Wraith Rovers finished second last year and lost out in the semi-final of the playoffs. In fact, it was the quarter-final, I think, to Falkirk, and as a result they're still in the Championship this year. Now, in terms of the Championship, this is how it looks. So we've got some fairly big teams. Partick Thistle got relegated. We've got Hamilton, St Mirren, Falkirk, Queen of the South as the kind of main teams to look out for, and obviously we have Stirling as well. Now, fate has it that today's game, the first game of my competitive game, of my tenure at Wraith Rovers, is actually playing Stirling Albion in the Betfred Cup. I would have done it with Falkirk in the league, but I felt this opportunity was just too good to let slip. So we're going to take on Stirling in the Betfred Cup today and see whether or not we've made the right decision to move here. In terms of the odds, we are second favourite, but fairly close to Thistle in terms of the odds. Everyone really is kind of pretty close. Stirling second favourites for relegation. Now, one of the reasons why I did move on, Stirling's squad, I felt did the job last year. I just didn't see how I was going to strengthen it enough to really mount a serious challenge. With them being semi-professional, it's making it very difficult to bring players in, whereas here I've noticed already it's been much easier to get a higher calibre of player interested in coming to the club. So we haven't really looked at the squad or anything yet, and that's probably the first place to start, which I think what we'll do is we'll just actually look at the team report, to be honest, because that's probably the best place to look at it. So in terms of goalkeepers, we've got Kevin Cuthbert and Cameron Dawson, who I've recently signed in. Kevin Cuthbert is injured. He's 35 years old. His physicals are starting to drop off a little bit, but very good goalkeeper nonetheless. Cameron Dawson will undoubtedly be challenging him for the number one slot. And defence, fairly good at left back. We've got Kim McHattie, formerly of Hearts, good solid pro, I think, good physicals and what you're looking for in the technique side of things. And we've also got Aaron Taylor Sinclair, who's back in Scotland after his failed attempt of breaking into England with Wigan and Doncaster as well. And again, another fairly decent player. Probably got a bit more on the technical side. The physical's lacking a bit, so he will be second choice to McHattie as far as I'm concerned. Right back, we have Jason Thompson, who seems like a cracking player. He is our club captain, 30 years old. He is in demand at the moment. We had Kilmarnock, I think, that were continuously upping their bid for him, and then I believe that Ross County came in as well. We've got Martin Bain, promising youngster in that position, who's out on loan this year at East Fife, as I wanted him to get regular first team football, and he's got a better chance there than here. Unfortunately for central defence, our best central defender has been offered out on a transfer because he's French and his second nationality is Cameroonian. So despite the fantastic abilities of this guy in the air, an absolute rocket centre back, we're having to sell Voto. But I brought in Gabriel Osho on loan from Reading, who I think will be a pretty good replacement. Not quite as good in the air, but strong nonetheless. So fairly pleased at bringing Osho in. After that, we're looking at Ian Davidson, Callum Fordyce and Sean Crichton, all about the 2.5 star mark. Fordyce is the player I'm likely to favour in that position. In midfield, I've loaned in Conor McGrandles, 22 years old, in from Norwich. Solid player, just what we're looking for in that position. Good work rate, good determination, teamwork and so on. Now, I do have two defensive midfielders in that position in Ian Davidson and Nicholas Patterson, but both of these guys are 33 for Patterson, I think 34 for Davidson. So the physicals are starting to tail off a little bit, and despite the fact they will be good squad players and give you that kind of more experienced player in your squad, they're not likely to feature as much. I've also brought in Andy Rose, 28-year-old English, I think he's also USA, central midfielder, ball-winning midfielder again, sticking with that same approach that I had at Stirling before McManus and Lindsay came in, keeping a solid central midfield, the two central midfielders, ball-winning midfielders, deep-lying playmakers, guys that just kind of keep the team ticking over, allowing the three players in front to really have this sort of creative edge. And I am sticking with the 4-2-3-1 narrow. It did me well at Stirling, and I'm hoping it will do the same here. In the advanced midfielder or attacking playmaker position, we have Dale Hilson, who unfortunately is injured for today's game. Been pretty decent so far, wanted by Falkirk at the moment. This is nothing exceptional. We've brought in Scott Fraser on a free transfer, who I'm quite excited about. 23 years old, pretty good first touch technique. Decisions not fantastic, but composure and finishing are decent. Long shots are good as well, so I expect to see Fraser will score a few goals this year. He's actually injured at the moment as well. I've brought Jack Harper in on loan, who ideally would play as a forward, but he can equally play quite as well in the advanced playmaker position. So it depends very much on our star striker. He is wanted at the moment by Dundee United. I have promised that I will accept an appropriate bid from them. I'm hoping that won't come in. If it does, then I'll have to honour it. The reason why I did this, I didn't want any kind of dressing room unrest from just signing for the club. You can see Vaughan is a big player for us. Been here for the start of his career, 21 goals in 38 games last season, so he will be a big part of our success. If he does get sold, Jack Harper will slot into that position, and we'll just fill in the gaps in attacking midfield. So yeah, that's how the squad is kind of shaped up. Just trying to think if there's anyone else I need to cover. I think I've gone through everyone there. So yeah, today's game sees us in the Betfred Cup, and in our group we have Clyde, Kilmarnock, Stenhousemuir, and of course today's opponents Stirling. Realistically, I'd be saying I'd be aiming for second here. Ideally, if we can beat Stirling today, Clyde and Stenhousemuir, 9 points might be enough to see us through to the next stage for the first time in this series. Kilmarnock possibly. I'm not actually sure where we're playing Kilmarnock, if it's at home or away. It is away, so maybe not. In terms of our friendlies so far, didn't look fantastic. We've had one win against Arbroath CSC. That was just to build up the morale again after losing 3 games in the Starks League, which we did for generating income, which unfortunately hasn't done a great deal. We're in the black now, we weren't before, but in that we didn't do too badly. Managed to score 2 goals against Birmingham, and Birmingham winning 4-2 in the end thanks to a penalty in the 53rd minute. Bruges, we were 2-0 up within 5 minutes and then capitulated. But actually, if you look at the stats in this game, we had a huge number of shots on goal, had more possession, so really quite pleased that we played that well against a team like that. And then against Villa, Villa were in control and deserved a 2-0 win in that game. Then Cardiff, we should have won this game, a late equaliser. We had a missed penalty from Callum Fordyce. I hadn't set the penalty takers. 26 shots, 11 on target and more possession, which is pretty good going against a team like Cardiff. So it puts us in a good position, I think, for today. Our team is looking fairly good as we'll progress through to this selection. Cameron Dawson hasn't been fit. He got injured as soon as he signed. I think he got food poisoning, so his sharpness isn't quite there yet, but he will play today ahead of Wally Muir. Thompson, Osho, Fordyce, McHattie at left back, McGrandles and Rose in the holding positions in midfield. Then Chris Johnson, Ryan Stevenson, who I haven't shown so far, will play in the attacking midfielder role to cover for the absent Fraser and Dale Hilson. And Jack Harper will play alongside them as well, with Lewis Vaughan up front. So, what else? Yeah, I think we're okay for today. I was playing counter-attack in the friendlies against the bigger teams, and I would like to see us not have to play that way, but we actually managed to get a large number of shots on goal, as I say, against Cardiff and Bruges, so maybe it's not quite as defensive as it seems. Our formation is set up to be that way, so we do have a solid bank of 6 kind of sitting back and 4 ready to just pounce on the opponents. Stirling today with 4-3-3, largely the same team as what I had. It looks like we've got a new goalkeeper, got Rory McAllister, and the rest of the same. Josh Jeffries playing up front. Have to be a little bit careful with 3 centre forwards that we don't end up in a position where our players lose their man. I'm almost tempted to pull back Andy Rose into a defensive midfielder role, but I think I'm going to stick with this at the moment and see how it goes. We should be able to dominate this game. We want to close down the central midfielders, and yeah, we're favourites, so let's go and take control of this game. And I think I was missing one other thing. I made my changes during the game, I think, before. So I need to tell these guys to go forward, stay wide, centre, cross more often, and that should do us. Okay, let's get started here. Our first competitive game in charge at a new club, and I'm not expecting any glory out of the Betfred Cup this season, or probably at all with Wraith Rovers, to be honest. Again, this is going to be a club that are targeting 2 of the remaining kind of lower competitions, so the Ladbrokes Championship and of course the Iron Brew League Challenge Cup. Well, so far we have done okay. Most of the possession, had a couple of shots, nothing major to kind of speak of. Stevenson now inside to Rose, into Harper inside the box, back to Stevenson, looking for Vaughan at the front post. Not the greatest of crosses. McAdams collects, and will he launch this forward for an attack for Stirling? And I am a little bit worried about the 3 centre forwards. I'm hoping that we'll just keep it tight at the back, and no, we haven't. McAllister's through, good save from Dawson, strong hand low to his right, and puts it out for a corner as well. Doesn't play it into the path of any oncoming strikers. Craig Adams with the corner, headed away by Rose. Oh dear, McGrandles is getting sent off for that, surely. No? I think there's a bit of disparity here between what's actually happened in the game and how the 3D engine portrays it, because I had the same sort of thing with the Rangers save. That was a terrible challenge, and not even a yellow card there. Harper into the box, loses out. McHattie plays it out wide to Johnston. Left-footed effort. Oh dear, I think that hit. Did that hit the crossbar and the post and the goalkeeper? That could well be a point that we look back on in this game and think what could have been if that had gone in. Certainly in control in terms of stats, but the way... Oh dear. Unbelievable. Liam Gordon scores after a 40-yard shot. A superb assist. That was a shot. I swear that was a shot. Jeffries, that is a shot. And it's just hit off of Gordon. No idea what was happening. And despite us having total control of the first half, we go in 1-0 down. As I was saying beforehand, we weren't playing particularly well despite being the more dominant side. Looks like just being aggressive is the way to go here for the second half. Not going to change things around formation wise. It looks like Stirling have gone 4-4-2 now. So what I will do, now that they don't have the 3 centre forwards, is I'm going to tell my 2 fullbacks to get further forward now. I'm just going to tell Rose to mark tighter and hold his position. Probably play fewer risky passes, just looking for him to play a simple game there as we start the second half and give the ball away straight away. Yeah, our plan's kind of gone a bit out of the window here, to be honest. We are going to have to go overload, I think, at this stage. Football Manager is just one of those games. I mean, it does represent real life. It happens a lot where the team in control end up going 1-0 down. It happens an awful lot, and it's happening again today. And Stirling will probably now just look to counter us at the first available chance as they come forward yet again. McAllister's going to feed this through, surely. Nope, back to McManus. And we're not going in on the challenge there, which is a bit disappointing. McHattie cuts out the ball. Stevenson over the top. Vaughan is through. He's got to finish this. McAdams saves. That was an absolutely glorious chance there for Vaughan. I wish he had just kept it on the deck and put it in the bottom right corner. Johnson's corner. Can't get past the first man. Disappointing there. Johnston at 6.2. We just don't have the option to really change things around a great deal. What I will do at the moment is I might actually try and hit them with 3. I'm going to bring on David McGregor for Johnston and sit him up there as well. Play him as a poacher. Vaughan as an advanced forward, and Harper, no, does he prefer? I think false 9, because that means he kind of falls back into playing in that advanced playmaker kind of role. So a slight change of formation. We've really got to push for it. Again, you know, stats count for nothing at the end of the game if you can't score more than your opponents. And this is looking as though we are going to lose. And if we do lose, we will not go through. There's no way that we're going to win all the remaining games. And find ourselves as one of the best second place teams as we win the ball back there from Lindsay. Rose to Stevenson. We've got to get this forward quickly and we've got to make sure that we make this chance count. Thompson plays it in. Vaughan with a header and it creeps in at the back post. Back in level terms. Still about 15 minutes on the clock, so I think we are well within our rights to think we can win this game. Thompson lofts it in towards the penalty area and Vaughan, good finish, solid header, and yeah, let's see if we can do it and come back from 1-0 down. 5 minutes left and it seems as though we're just running the clock down now. That's it, yeah, it's all gone. So with it being the Betfred Cup, we get penalties, so I think we will just go with oh dear, 4 dice. We don't really have very good penalty takers at the club here. Harper, I am surprised that Vaughan, 4 dice missed one in the friendly, so I'm kind of leaning away from him a little bit. I think we'll go with that. Yeah, okay. So a dramatic end to this episode. Penalties. McGrandle steps up and not the greatest penalty there, but it manages to get through. So obviously if we win this we end up with 2 points. Coogan's uncharacteristically misses, and now Rose has a chance to get double our lead really here. Okay, not bad, not bad. Sean Dixon, left footed, slots it into the right hand post there. 2-1. We should win it from here. We should, but we might not. As Vaughan steps up, calmly places it into that bottom right hand corner. And 3-1 up now. Stirling really have to score this. Tom Lang, central defender. Calmly done from him as well. I'm just having a look at the stats here. 31 shots, 11 on target. Should really have won that game in the 90. But Harper can win it here if he can score from the spot. And he does. Oh no, we can't win it from there. Whoops. I need to go and do my maths again. McAllister will surely score here. He doesn't. Hit it straight at the keeper and we've won. So we get a bonus point for the penalty win. I'm not going to say fantastic. I'll just say it calmly, I guess. Don't want to be too passionate. But it looks as though Clyde have done us a favour. Clyde have actually beaten Kilmarnock. So the group is wide open at the moment. I may come back actually for the Kilmarnock game then. That's the last game in this group stage. Yeah, I might as well. So anyway guys, start of a new era now. We are at Wraith Rovers. Let me know what you think about my decision. Would you have stayed with Stirling? Would you have moved here? Would you have gone elsewhere really? Let me know what you think. I personally am quite happy with it. I think the squad is shaping up quite well. I've got another player potentially coming in on loan and I think it looks fairly bright. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, hit that like button, and until the next time guys, I'll see you when I see you.